StockPulse newsroom here. We are talking NV Gold. NV Gold trades as NVX Toronto Venture Exchange in Canada, NVGLF on the OTCQB in the States. And I got the chief executive here, John Seaberg. So, John, hey, appreciate you taking the time here. Seeing you in the news a while, a treasure hunting here in Nevada. Know a little bit about the story. You seem a little new to me. Maybe tell our channel a little bit about yourself here, and then I want to get into the current day activities of the company.
Hey, Rob. Thanks for having me on your show. I appreciate it. New, I wish. I've been in the metals and mining sector for over 25 years. Most of that career was spent at Newmont Mining Corporation in a variety of finance and capital market functions. And then I paraded around a couple of the mid-tier companies, Caliber Mining and most recently Condor Gold. Both have operations in Nicaragua. And then I had an opportunity to be a CEO for the first time in my career. I've had a lot of senior vice president positions, CFO roles, and I liked their NV Gold's portfolio of assets. And so here I am. I joined the company in June of this year, 2022. And here we go. We're off on our new chapter.
Yeah, so I hit the wire here in regards to pipe. So I guess, start where you want here. But let's give the rundown of what's going on, what's pertinent.
Yeah, so we have, for a junior exploration company, we're actually blessed with over 20 prospective properties in Nevada, arguably the best gold mining jurisdiction in the world. So what I've done since taking the helm, I think I've narrowed the focus, right? We're small. We have small, limited capital, human and financial. So we need to allocate that very prudently. So we've come up with we have a pipeline, and assets come in on the left and we do work, or we drop them and they advance or they don't. So we have 20 properties in this pipeline. We've narrowed our focus down to our 7, what we call active projects. And since I've come on board, I'm like, look, we need to pick our top 1 to 3. So that's what we've done now. We're focusing on our 3 key assets, which are Southwest Pipe, Slumber, and one called Triple T. And they're our best assets for a variety of reasons. Southwest Pipe, for example, is 4 miles from Cortez and Pipeline. Those are 20+ million ounce deposits owned by Barrick and now Nevada Gold Mines. But and then we have Slumber, which is near the Sleeper mine, which was an old Newmont producing mine, now owned by Paramount Gold Nevada, and it still has 4 million ounces in total resource. And we're less than 20 miles from the Sleeper asset. It's a low-grade, large oxide ore body opportunity, very heap leachable, and the target is a very large ore body. And then we have Triple T, which is a smaller target, if you will. Again, all oxide, but it's strategically located near Rochester, which is a mine operated by Core, and Florida Canyon, which is a mine operated by Argonaut. So there's potential synergies with those 2 companies and that asset. So it's really about keeping a narrow focus on our best opportunities and allocating both financial and human capital appropriately.
Yeah, so you've got your basket, if you will. You know what you're doing here. What's the game plan moving forward? So
we're gonna we just yesterday put out a press release with some very positive mercury vapor results at Southwest Pipe. These mercury vapor results, and I don't want to get too technical on your show here, but they confirmed a soil sampling geochem exercise that we completed a couple months ago, confirming that we have a potentially significant oxidizing ore body right near 2 massive existing gold mines. So what we're going to do is we're going to put 1 to 2 drill holes in Southwest Pipe in Q1 of 2023. And then we'll move on to Triple T. We recently permitted 10 RC hole drill targets at Triple T. And then depending on financing and where the market's at, we'll move and continue to drill our Slumber deposit. In the meantime, we recently completed a a data library exercise with GoldSpot. And I don't know if your audience is familiar with GoldSpot, but they essentially digitized all of the data that we acquired from Anglo Gold several years ago into their AI, artificial intelligence database system, and identified 31 new targets for us. So we're methodically going through that data, and that will feed our pipeline. Again, not all of those are going to be successful, but it's about continuously adding to the pipeline, doing the boots on the ground work, which will eventually turn into drill hole data and assays, and either advance or drop. We will not spend money or time on projects that are not of interest or don't appear to be successful. A lot of companies waste time and money keeping projects alive too long. That's why I like our pipeline sort of strategy, if you will, because it makes us focus on either advancing or dropping these properties. And that's how I think we're going to add value for our shareholders.
Yeah, you're singing my song, John. I always wondered what at what point is there a mathematical formula, or is it just a feel, or when do you know when to let one loose? And I just see a lot of these properties and projects just keep getting worked on. I always wondered. So I guess I'll leave us with that. What is your criteria for letting one go?
You're right. It's a combination of art and science, and I'm very lucky to have a very experienced and talented VP of Exploration, Thomas Klein, also a former Newmont geologist on the team, and a very experienced board of directors. And with their assistance, because I'm not the geo, right? I can guide the company, I can run strategy and capital markets, but I rely on their feel. Sometimes it is a feel. Sometimes you have no data and you just want to let it go, or there's other alternatives, right? I mean, if you're not sure yet, you can always do a lease agreement, you can do farm outs, you can do JVs, you can do mergers. So that's one option of keeping things alive at a very low cost of capital. But then you have, whether it's geochem, soil sampling, if you're, fortunate enough to put a drill hole in and it doesn't turn out, then you just drop it altogether. So it is a combination of art and science, and I rely on the team and their technical abilities significantly to make that call. And some of them can just sit on our portfolio if there's no cost to them. If we've already made the payment for the claim for another year, it'll sit there, and then we'll either drop it or try to farm it out.
I'll leave you with this one here, John. Market's been obviously beat up here. Looks like it's trying to rally. Nothing you can do about that. But yeah, let's carve a message out here for investors looking to get some value here in this really beat up sector. I mean, is it going to be as simple as throwing darts? I don't think so. I think you're going to have some strategy here. So, what's your strategy?
Well, you're right, Rob. This market has been pretty brutal, especially for companies in my space. Like I said, we're fortunate to have multiple properties that we think have a very high probability of making a discovery. So we're going to methodically focus on our highest priorities, allocating our capital accordingly. And you might want to call Southwest Pipe a Hail Mary. I wouldn't put it quite in that category, given the data that we have. But we're going to drill that target, and I have I think there's a high probability of success of hitting mineralization. And from there, we can hopefully raise some capital and continue to build that deposit out. But I think the Triple T, the Southwest Pipe, and Slumber, from a drill ready, and we own 100% of all of our properties, by the way. There's no JVs, nothing. We own everything. So everything we find, we get, and our shareholders get a benefit from that. And so we're going to focus on those highest priorities and then move to the next level based on those results.
Okay. We'll certainly keep our eye on the wire when you start getting back at it here. So John Seaberg, he's a CEO, NV Gold, NVX Toronto Venture Exchange, NVGLF on the OTCQB in the States. John, appreciate that update, and we'll certainly look forward to checking back in when you light the wire up again.
I appreciate it, Rob. Thanks.